Hello everyone, how are you doing? How is everyone watching the stream today? It's a little bit later than usual, late start. I got really into doing some web development last night for the first time in a while, and then accidentally spent like a fuck ton of hours last night working on it. Oops, I said fuck within the first 30 seconds. Who knows if this video is gonna get monetized? Ooh. And I ended up staying up till like 4 a.m. And then I woke up at 11, and then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna push the stream off until 1. Hey there, Xenoblade. We are gonna witness moving water. Hopefully we can do that. Oh, thank you for the sub, Zithia. Oh shit, 18 months total, Jesus Christ, that's insane. Okay, so, yeah, what's happened since, not last week, because I wasn't able to stream last week? Basically nothing. I have been really busy with a lot of things. Oh shit, thanks for becoming a YouTube member too, Zith. Damn, okay, I think you're the first one ever. Okay, so, yeah, basically nothing has happened since last time. I was going to work on it off-stream, and then I had a ton of other life stuff come up. You know, it's the holiday season, things are getting kind of busy, and I didn't have time, and so now my project is due in like 5 days. It's due on the 13th, and it's the 8th, so yep, that's math. And I don't have moving liquids yet. And like, yeah, if this was a general programming class, I could be like, yeah, I got all the technical details worked out, and I got like liquids loading, and I got them rendering, and that's pretty good, right? But this is an animation class, and basically the only criteria is that something animates. And right now, well, here, this is what we've got right now. It's not exactly animated. I did fix the Z fighting at least, although that's not really saying much. But, you know, Z fighting's good. But today we actually need to make this water at least move around to a basic degree. I could just slap a moving texture on it. Flat water! Yeah, something tells me that's not gonna quite work out, but, you know, we'll see. So what I want to do today, wow, this music is really loud in my ears, one sec. Okay, so what I want to do today is try and actually make it so that the water fills into crevices. So if we end up with like a hole like this, and then I place water down here, it should fall into here, right? I was initially going to be doing this very like fancy heuristic algorithm I had planned out, but I haven't had time to fully workshop it, and frankly, I don't have that time, so I think we're just going to do like a random walk method, where anytime a liquid is placed, it's going to be added into a queue of liquids that should be moved around, and then they will get moved around every step until they end up bordered by stuff that will prevent them from moving. So basically, if a block gets placed, or if they end up moving down into here, they're going to be bordered by 5 blocks, and they're not going to move. Liquid can also border other liquid, so if it is like occupying... Yes, a live stream. If it is in this position... Oh shit, here we go. Thank you for redeeming the ears so quickly. Why would you do this to me? Okay, so if we end up in this position where there's liquid on 2 sides and then grass on the other 2, then that also counts as a frozen position. But if this block breaks, now it can move down, so it's no longer frozen. And we'll also need to unfreeze these, which is going to be a bit of an interesting algorithm. Thank you for the hydrate echoes. Okay, so let's see. Wait, you subscribed at tier 2s? Why are you doing this right now? I mean, thank you, but why? Okay. So, how are we gonna make this work? First of all, let me actually bring up the ears timer. Timer... 1 hour... Okay, now I've got to get the crop margin working. Timer. Okay. Another stream, another week goes by without me actually getting a timer that makes sense and just, like, fucking chroma keying out the Chrome window. There we go. The tier 1 sub was last month, so it just showed it now because no streams have happened lately. Oh, interesting. Okay. I didn't know that's how it worked. I assumed that it was, like, only if you actually subscribed during the stream. Honestly, my favorite part of the stream is how great a developer you are, but you just use a chroma keyed out Google tab. I haven't put energy into finding a proper timer. I don't know. Maybe eventually we'll get something that actually works. I get a button every month to show you the ping. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that was a thing. Alright, so to get this working, we're basically going to do a queue system, where I'm going to, when any liquid is placed, we're going to add it to a queue of liquids that need to be computed, and then whenever a liquid, and then whenever the game updates and there's liquids to be computed, we're going to randomly select the nearest unfilled position and move the liquid to that position. And that is going to provoke any other liquids that were adjacent to where it was before to also go into the update queue. And then at any point, if a liquid is in the update queue and it tries to move and it can't move anywhere, then we're going to remove it from the queue until it gets added by something else again. And I think that's a very simple volumetric fluid system that should work. I mean, it won't have, it'll have some unhappy traits, like, if we end up with like a pool like this with one block of water in it, it'll probably end up cycling around forever because it's never going to be at rest. There's something that we can do with that in the future with volume, but currently the system doesn't have volume, and I don't know if we're going to have time to add it. This is something I will be continuing to work on after the stream, though, or like after this assignment, because volumetric fluids is something I eventually want to have fully supported in the engine. But yeah, so right now, we need to create a queue of liquid nodes to manipulate, and then create a function to randomly move them, or randomly walk them, I suppose. And then that's about it. And I guess we're gonna probably want to do this on the tick system, so it's not running like constantly. So let's take a look at the world. We're gonna create a constant, static const expression, F32 water tick rate is going to be 1 over 30, or let's go 1 over 10. So that's going to be every 10th of a second we're going to tick the water. And then let's go F64 water tick timer is going to start at 0. And then every time the game updates, we're going to increment that by the delta time. And then every time it's above this amount, we're going to decrement it by this amount, and we're going to trigger a water tick. That's pretty simple. We should be able to do that. So let's go update. God, this code is a mess. Fucking hell. Okay, so we'll go water tick timer plus equals delta. Well, water tick timer is greater than water tick rate. Water tick timer minus equals water tick rate. And we're going to go dimensions, or game.dimensions.for, or dot... Huh, how do I actually get... I guess I want to go, like, for const dimension of game.dimensions. Or no, I can't actually do that, can I? I need to go for var I is equal to 0, I is less than game.dimensions.size, I plus plus, game dimensions dot process liquids. I keep wanting to use the words fluids because, like, that, I don't know, like fluids makes sense to my brain over the word liquid, but fluid contains, like, gases, right? And we're not doing anything that doesn't have gravity or, like, liquid dynamics, so it shouldn't be called process fluids, but my brain really wants it to be called that. Also, I just realized, as if I have the option to, like, warn you for the subscription notification. I have no idea why that's, like, quick bounded to like the message. Like none of the other messages get that pop-up, but like for the subscription one I have the option to ban, timeout, warn, and delete your message. Hey there, Illuminati, how you doing? Okay, so we have our dimensions process liquids. Now we need to actually implement that function. Maybe if someone has something in their name. Oh, that does make sense. But like, wouldn't a normal chat message also show that? Okay, so our dimension is going to need to have a function called... have you seen the recent video by Sebastian Legg? It's also liquid rendering. I have them on my subscriptions, and I saw the video. I haven't watched it yet, though. Right now I'm trying to do a very simple implementation because I actually, like, I started this project for an assignment, and I need to have it done in 5 days. It's due on the 13th. And that's including, like, a write-up and a functional build of the project, and I have no idea how to do that, so, timer on hydrate button. Oh, yeah, take that. Sorry about that, but I'm not changing it. Alright, processed liquids. That's going to be a function. And then, let's make that a virtual function. So that's going to be a virtual void with no default implementation. Who puts assignments on Friday the 13th? Is it Friday the 13th? Oh, man. I guess it is. Wow. Apparently it was the latest day that he could set the assignment to be due, so I don't know, maybe he's just, like, cursed or something. Okay, so where's our lighting function? Because I was putting it next to that because it was another process function. I don't see it. Fine, okay. Void process liquids final override. Okay. And then we're also gonna need a set of liquids that are in the position that we want, or the set of liquids that need to be updated. Now, I'm not sure I love the idea of making this a set as opposed to an array, but I don't want to dedupe stuff, so we're gonna make it a set for now. There's going to be a uset IVEC3 of liquid nodes, or liquids to process. Okay. And then our process liquids function, we need an implementation for it, which is going to go over here. We'll just put it right under here. Void client dimension process liquids. Okay, and we're going to go for... so I guess the next question is, do we want to just clear all of the liquids from the process queue? Probably, because we're not ever going to be recomputing the same position, right? Like, this is just the liquids that need to be processed next, or this frame. Then next frame we're going to have all new liquids to process. So technically, if we want to be smart about this, we should have 2 queues that swap between them so we don't have to do a copy. But I'm not going to do that yet. So we're going to have a set of integer positions next liquids to process. And we're going to go for let and, or we don't need an and because it's IVEC3's, liquid of liquids to process. Okay, and then we're going to go, okay, so what do we need to do here? Basically, we need to compute how many cleared directions there are that the liquid can move in. And then if there are no directions, then we kill it. And then if there are any directions, then we are going to, we're going to choose a random one and move it in that direction. So let's go, constexpr array IVEC3 5 dirs to check is going to be equal to direction north, direction south, direction east, direction... Wait, are these not actually values? What are you? I don't know what they are. Direction west. Oh, I thought they were. Okay. Cool. Then I guess I'll go direction to vec. Does that not work because it's const expression? Oh, no, it's an array. Okay. Cool. Okay. I don't know why I've written this like this. This is kind of stupid. Okay, north, south, east, west. We're not going to compute up because that's kind of weird. Although, actually, wait, hold on. We do want to update all liquids even up. Although, we can do that, we can do that in a separate pass. So, flow directions. Although, I guess we want to prioritize down over everything else, right? Like, if a liquid can go down, it should always go down. So, we'll put that at the top. Then we're going to go Okay, we're going to have a vector of ivec3s. And this is going to be directions open. And it's going to start as empty, and then we're going to reserve it. Directions open dot reserve 5. It will only ever have at the most 5 values. Then we're going to go for let dir of flow directions if get node. I don't know why this isn't like syntax highlighting. Oh, this is red? Why are you upset at me now? Oh, I see. Man, okay, at as you size. Are you happy now, C++? No. Okay. What? No! Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay. I'll just do it manually. I don't even know why I care about having it be done, like, using that initialization, because it's, frankly, more verbose. Okay. 1, 0, 1, -1, -1. There you go. There's our array of flow directions. No more complaining, C++. Okay. So that's our array of flow directions. Then we're going to go with get node liquid plus direction. Oh, I guess we want to make sure that there is a liquid there in the first place. Well, there should be. It would be weird if there isn't, but yeah. So let's go pos if get liquid pos is not equal to liquid atlas empty. Or if it is equal to that, then we're going to continue, because we just don't want to do anything if there's no liquid there. Then we're going to get the node at the... Okay, we're going to go let check position is equal to pos plus dir. And then we're going to go with check position. If the node at check position is equal to item atlas air, and the liquid at that position is equal to liquid atlas empty, then we are going to directions open dot push check position. Push back. Okay. Also, I'm going to reset directions open in here. Okay. So, cool. So for each of the potential flow directions, if the position there has no block and also has no liquid, then we're going to add it to directions open. Then we're going to go let chosen direction is going to be equal to directions open 0 is equal to ivec3 0, -1, 0. So if the first direction open is down, which it will always be if down is open because it's the first one we're checking, then we're going to choose directions open 0. Otherwise, we're going to choose a random value, rand mod directions open dot size. So that's going to choose a random direction from the remaining list of directions, or just all of them, sorry. And then we're going to go, Hey there, Intix. We're going to go set liquid. So set liquid should automatically, like, trigger it to go into the process queue. Which actually means what we should do is instead of having next liquids to process, we should, like, alias this. So liquids to process is equal to this liquids to process. And then we should be able to go this liquids to process dot clear. Okay, and now when we call set liquid, it's going to add the liquid to the next liquids to process queue. So then we're going to go chosen direction plus position. Oh, and we actually need to know what the liquid is. So let liquid is equal to get liquid. Cool. And then we're going to set it to liquid, and the amount is just going to be 1 because that's not implemented yet. Okay. And now, the remaining thing we need to do is basically if there's any liquids that were adjacent to this one, then we need to update those. So we're going to go for let dir of direction. Hey, I found your videos on YouTube a while ago and really enjoyed them. Nice surprise to also finally catch a stream of yours. Thank you. I'm glad you like them, and welcome to the stream. Does get liquid enable you to use this on different types of liquids, like lava? It does, yes. I see that your tyranny still persists. Yeah, people never let me be free. It's so unfair. Yeah, so get liquid's whole gimmick is that it can give you back any arbitrary liquid. In the future, we should be able to use it to also get, like, the volume of the liquid at that position. I want to encode it in a specific... I want to basically encode 64 levels of volume in each liquid index. So we're only passing around one value, and then we're going to floor it. We're going to shift it right 6 times or whatever to get the liquid index, and we're going to mod it by 64. Or I guess mask it by the bottom 6 bits to get the volume. So it'll just be one number that indicates the liquid volume and the liquid amount, or the liquid type. So we want to get all of the directions. Direction to vec. Is that actually what I want? Cringe but free. I can't believe you. Tyranny. Where's my... Oh, it's dir.hpp? Okay, fine. Directions to vec also includes none. Man, I wish that I had, like, a proper index of cardinal directions. I'm gonna create one here. Array I vec3 6 dirs to update. It's going to be equal to these values. Cool. And then we're going to go dirs to update. And then for each of these, we're going to go if get liquid dir plus position is not equal to liquid atlas empty. Then we're going to go this liquids to process dot add or dot push. Oh god, more ears. Okay. Sure. Hold on, I'll update the timer. An hour 40. There we go. Oh shit, now it's off the screen. I can't believe you do this to me. What? Wait, why? Okay. 2:40. If you guys keep doing this, I'm gonna have to keep track of it in between streams, and that's gonna suck, so please don't. Okay, so, so our liquids to process is going to push... Is the stream not running on Twitch? My stream manager just shows a black screen. Oh, no, it's fine. I just had to refresh the page. Okay. So we are going to push a new position dot push. I don't actually know how to add to this. It's been so long. Is it insert? I guess so. Dir plus position into this list. Oh, and then I guess one other thing we want to do is if chosen direction dot, or if directions open dot size is equal to 0, or I guess we can just go if it's empty, then we're going to continue as well. If there's no directions that are open, then we don't want to do anything. Otherwise, we get the chosen direction, we set the liquid, we get the liquid, we update it. I think that's all it takes. Other than that, we have to put any liquids that get added into liquids to process, which will happen on both set liquid and add liquid. So we're going to go liquids to process dot push or dot insert position, and we'll do that here too. And then I guess we'll probably want to call on chunk change. This is really gross though, because this is going to be triggering once per... Wait, is pos just the one chunk? Hold on. Yeah, that's going to be triggering once per block, which is not good, but who cares? That's fine. It's fine. Oh, game.dimensions or i.process by tag. Okay, I think this will work. I actually think this is like the bare bones, like minimum viable implementation. We'll find out. Let's see. Alright, building. How do you guys feel about this implementation? Is it beautiful? Do you hate it? Give bucket. Okay. Let's start with a really simple case. So we'll put that there. Okay. So nothing is happening. That's a good start. Huh. That's weird. Let's log that we're actually updating the liquids just to confirm that this is actually happening. Okay, so we should see processing liquids. If we don't, there's a problem. Okay, let's then confirm as well that this function is actually getting called on the client dimension, because maybe I've fucked up the inheritance somehow. I'm not sure. We are going to find out. Okay, so it is happening on the client dimension as well. Cool. And then let's go log processing a liquid at position. So this should trigger at least once. If it triggers more than once, then we're good. But if it only triggers once, yeah, 2 hours and 35 minutes. I don't know why these people are like this. Okay, so if it triggers just once, then it means that we've messed up the collision code for the liquids. And if it triggers not at all, then we've messed up adding it to the list. Okay. It triggered 3 times, but with very incorrect positions. Are any of these right? Okay, this is right. Huh. Okay, so we're getting the wrong position, I think. So our direction is going to be a cardinal direction. Then we call chosen direction plus position, where position is a block position. So I guess the question for me is where did the coordinates get messed up? So set liquid takes in a position, which takes in a chunk. Okay, so it gets the chunk from the chunk position and the index from the local position. And then we insert the position in there. So that should be fine. So the first position was right. We know the first position was right. So I guess let's confirm if I go back over to process liquid. Also, just a sanity check here. The reason that it stopped is because it was underground, I'm assuming. So let's go let next pos is equal to chosen direction plus pos. Then let's log new position is going to be new pos. Then let's also start using new position everywhere instead of recomputing it every time. Okay, why is this angry? Oh, because I immediately forgot the variable name. Okay. Cool, so let's see now if I run this again, what the new position is, because this will tell us if the problem is like the update function or the movement. Is it a const? Yes? Okay, hold on. So 197 negative 4 to 194 negative 9. Okay, so something is wrong with the position changing logic. So this is an IVEC3. And then our DIRs to update are also IVEC3s. And so are our flow directions. So then for each direction we check position plus direction. Then our chosen direction is going to be based on directions.open. So why would this be bad? So directions open. I guess let's add a breakpoint here. I don't know why this would have the wrong values. It might be like a memory corruption, which would be very unfortunate. I don't want to have to debug a memory corruption right now, but I have no idea why else it would be doing that. Okay. So, oh, okay, hold on. There is a known memory corruption in the code base right now, and I don't know where it is. The problem with doing stuff with like valgrind to identify it is the game takes so long to initialize under valgrind that I never even get to the point where the corruption exists. Okay. Place water, breakpoint. Breakpoint? Oh, why is it off? Okay. The breakpoint isn't working. Does the address/thread sanitizer not catch the crash? I don't think so. I mean, like, I don't actually know if I have that on. Hold on. I don't have that on. Hold on. Hey there, Radio Dwarf, how you doing? fsanitize address to your compile and link args, you get Google's address sanitizer, and it's super easy to catch memory corruptions. Alright, let's try that, because I apparently haven't been using it. Okay. Let's see. fsanitize address is probably the best thing that's happened to C++. I've literally never, like, I've used it at least once, because it's been in CMake, but I've never really, like, relied on it. Does it actually do, like, all the stuff that you would expect to be catched with, like, valgrind? I'm doing good. I'm slightly worried about getting this assignment working before the end of this course in 5 days, because... So, like, I've been kind of working off of minimal effort logistics. Like, I've been attempting to just, like, get this course done and not think about it any more than I have to. And so I've secured about, I think, 65% probably in the course. And right now, if that is what I have, then I can just not submit anything and pass. But I don't know what I... Oh, okay. I don't know for sure if that's actually going to be what I get, because I haven't got my final grade back yet, and so I feel compelled to still submit something for this, even if, okay. Even if I am going to pass the course, just because I'd rather be safe than sorry. Okay, so this is showing me... I have no idea what this means, but... Oh, I guess it does give me a legend, but... F5 is stack after return. F1 is stack left red zone. Stack 2 is stack mid red zone. Stack right. Okay, I don't know what that means. Going back to that. But I did see that it's in compute spanning, which is interesting, because that is a temporary, or that's a non-necessary function. I can just leave this off, and let's find out if that fixes it. Yeah, I did. Okay, this is good. So, the only reason I'm doing this, for the record, is I want to make sure that the memory error is actually in this location, and not just somewhere else. Okay. Cool, so it is in this function. Which kind of checks out, because I've got some go-tos in here, which I probably shouldn't have. Okay, let's take a quick look at this code. So, if part.mods.size return, sure, whatever, the directions is going to be an array of 3 pairs. We're making a pair... Okay, this is 3 long, that's good. Check parallel is a lambda, which goes from A, B direction. Oh, I did, yeah. Oh, shit, wait, that catches the closing function. Oh, that's so useful. Okay. Yeah, because, no, the game has had a crash every time that it's closed for a very long time. And I've just not really, like, dealt with it because I didn't know how to debug it because Valgrind. So that's great. Yeah, okay. It looks like it's in the mesh buffer remove, though. That's not something I'm going to mess with right now. But I know that only happens on close, and knowing that it's there definitely helps me debug it in the future. Since what I'm getting, you're doing water simulation. Is this going to be small scale like what Minecraft does, or along the lines of what Zima does? I don't know what Zima is. Hold on. Yeah, sorry, I don't know what Zima is. It's going to be like, I want actual volumetric fluids, as in, like, if you place water next to a pit, then it actually flows into the pit. Not like Minecraft's source blocks and stuff. Okay, so check parallel makes sense to me. Like, that doesn't seem like that's going to cause a memory corruption. Then for each direction, we get the direction and the span bit. Oh, Zima is a dude working on his ray trace voxel engine. I haven't seen that before. Okay. I assume... So, I'm not trying to do something physically accurate. I'm just trying to do something that looks good in-game and has, like, emergent properties that can be used for gameplay. So, like, actually having to manage water volumes and stuff. I think that would be cool. Okay, so... If I was to guess, the place that's most likely to break is right here, where I'm pulling face-up positions, and I'm just assuming that its position has at least 4 values. So let's ensure pos.size is greater or equal to 4. Try to compute spanning on face with less than 4 vertices. Nice wishy, good luck, thank you so much. Okay, so that's one potential error. Then we've got, oh, these arrays aren't initialized. It doesn't seem like they technically need to be from the assignment. Because I'm just assigning to... Or actually, will arrays get their count? No, they don't have a count. They just allocate stack-based memory. So as long as they are actually encoded in there. Hold on, so this increases negative and positive. This is only analyzing 4 points. Oh, this might be the bug. See, it's trying to append to negative even if it's already full, right? Because there's 4 points. We're trying to make sure that there's exactly 2 negative and exactly 2 positive. But, yeah, because we can still append even if not. So what if we go... Shit, my smart cursor is not behaving. Okay. What if we go... and that variable is less than 2? That shouldn't change the calculations, it just means that we will have less negative and positive values in the array, which doesn't matter. But I think that should stop the invalid right. Yay! Okay, there we go. Perfect. Then I don't need to worry about this anymore. Okay, so that is a memory corruption fixed. Okay, back to what we were actually doing. Why the hell are these coordinates so fucked? Like, it's changing by a very large margin. Like, 392... Oh, it's doubling... Oh! Look at this. So, 392 is double 196, 16 is double 8, negative 3 is double minus 1 plus negative 1. So it chose the Z direction. But... so it's getting double the initial position somehow. Why, though? So... so direction is going to be there. So next position is getting position twice, right? That's the issue. Oh, because we're pushing back check pos instead of direction. We want to be pushing back direction. Okay. I think this will do it. We are going to find out. Okay. Give bucket. Wait for chunks to generate. Come on. I think the address sanitizer is slowing it down a lot. I might want to turn that off now that I know that things are actually working. Okay, anyways, let's try this now. So if I create a pit... oh my god, it's taking so long. Okay. Okay. Well, that's not exactly what I was intending. Hold on. Okay, wait. I need to find out what happens if I do this. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. I might want to kill this. Let's kill that. Okay, so we're not deleting the old liquid. That's what's going on here. Yep. Let's go remove liquid, position. Oh wait, hold on, not remove liquid, clear liquid, position. Okay, let's try that again. Also, I guess I don't need to log all the time. Let's kill these logs. It's got to fully rebuild because I turned off the address sanitizer. Let's go over to liquid and make the water a slightly less disgusting color, because that's kind of bothering me. Okay. Let's just choose a nice teal. Cool. Alright. So we gotta wait for this compilation to finish, which is going a lot faster now that I'm actually using multiple cores, which we found out last stream it wasn't, even though I have it set up in VS Code to do so, it just wasn't working properly. Okay, things are going a lot faster now. Now if I give myself a bucket... Ah, okay. Oh shit, thank you for the subscription, Ned. Alright, here we go. Why did it place 2? Am I at a chunk boundary? Oh, I am. Okay. So it's probably actually a rendering inconsistency. Because there's another issue which I noticed, which is that it doesn't re-render the old position. Yeah, so there's only one of it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Come on. You can fit. Yay! Cool. Okay. Meanwhile, this set is still spinning around down here. Let's give it a few more pieces. Alright, and if I break a block, it shouldn't update yet. Yeah, because I didn't program that. But as soon as I... Well, I guess that's not very helpful. If I do this... Yeah, now it's all messing around again. Look at them trying to find their plain water friends. Yeah. They're so excited. You know those, like those car games? Like, where you have, like, the car and only one position can move and you have to try and get to the end? How did you become so capable at writing graphics code independently? Honestly, just a lot of research and a lot of getting help from others. There's a lot of good resources online for stuff like OpenGL and Vulkan. LearnOpenGL.com. I always say .net, but I don't think that's actually right. LearnOpenGL.com is great for learning introductory graphics programming theory. And if you want to do Vulkan stuff, vkguide.dev is amazing. There's also the graphics programming Discord, which I'm a huge fan of, and there is just like there's a lot of different like Discord communities and stuff for different types of graphics programming that are always usually very friendly. Honestly though, like practice is the only thing that gets you places when it comes to learning things. Like it's just one of those things where if you keep pushing at it, eventually things will happen, in my opinion. I wonder why that stopped computing. Or did it? It just left this space blank. Huh. Okay, can you drop one in a flat place to see it go around? Sure. Yeah, we need to update the old chunk when, a liquid moves. Actually, I bet what that is, it's probably the same glitch that causes this to break. You see how these vertices are still present? That's because if a chunk is completely removed, it doesn't actually remove it from the render list for some reason. So this is still sticking around because this is because it was the only water plane in the chunk, and then it was gotten rid of. So if I put a new water plane here, it will go away, yeah. I think this one's actually stuck, because I made it so it can only move through air. If I give it a hole, will it free itself? So in your planned algorithm, are the water pieces only going to interact with other water pieces on the same Y level? What I mean is, will layers of water interact in any way with other lower layers of water, or only if there is an empty space? So in my planned algorithm, the liquid nodes will have both a type and a volume. And the entire node will not move around every time liquids update. It's only going to be a portion of the liquid that is proportional to the total volume and like some flow speed. Liquids will be able to increase the volume of liquids below them. So like if you have a relatively low volume liquid source and a high volume liquid source above it, then it's going to transfer the volume from the top to the bottom. Does that answer your question, or is there something else that I'm missing? These poor liquid nodes. They're trapped forever. They're in this horrible little zone where all grass counts as liquids. That was about it? Okay, cool. Yeah, and then there's also some stuff where, like, obviously we see these guys just, like, bobbing around forever. I would like to make it so that if a liquid's volume is low enough, it doesn't actually move anymore. Or at least not if a liquid's volume is low enough, but if the differential between the liquid's volume and the surrounding liquids are low enough. Although that's kind of hard to actually compute. I'm still thinking about that because, like, imagine a really shallow slope of water. From any given node's position, the differential between its volume and the next volume might only be one slice, right? But, like, across the entire lake, it can be, like, a pretty decent curve. And I need to be able to still move liquids if that's the case, but not if it's, like, a lake that is slightly off-center in, like, the middle or in random positions. Because, like, I'm going to be storing volume as integer positions, or as integer values, because using floating points for math like this is kind of wasteful. Which means that chances are a lake will not actually have a perfectly flat surface, even if it was fully settled. There will be parts of the lake that are one level higher than other parts that are one level lower, right? Because it's unlikely that a lake is going to have a perfect amount of liquid in it to, like, create a single flat top layer. And so to make that work, we're probably going to need some sort of algorithm that identifies the lowest liquid on a plane. Is it safe to say that the appearance of a lake will resemble a bunch of Minecraft snow blocks with different layers? So that's a good visualization for, like, the raw data. And the idea is that, like, I'd want the snow layers to never be more than one block higher, or one layer higher than the lowest layer, or one layer lower than the highest layer when it's perfectly settled. But in actuality, I'm going to be rendering this as like a carpet, where the vertices smoothly blend into each other. So it'll look more like a bunch of really tiny slopes, and then once you add water displacement, it shouldn't be noticeable at all that they're not level, is the goal. But yeah, I'm hoping that that works out. I think it'll look really nice, because, like, if we actually get, like, shader-based liquid displacement, then it'll be really hard to actually tell that the liquids aren't perfectly level, unless they're severely not level. And it also makes streams of water look a lot cleaner, because they'll actually be slopes, as opposed to just, like, layers. Could you apply a vector or simply a number to each fluid volume that says how much it's moving, then increase it when it interacts with other liquids and decrease it as it moves along? So, like, talking about basically having, like, a meter for, or a max amount of flow that it can make until it hits other liquids. That kind of makes sense. I would be worried about it settling prematurely, though. Really, what I want to be able to do is have an actual, like, volume identifier. Like, I want to be able to identify the volume of a lake, and then, like, check the level across its surface. But there's complexities to that too, where, like, okay, if I have a river that is going out of a lake, then does the river get counted as the lake's volume? That's not ideal, so, I should have a world edit command that lets me mass set some liquids here, just to see what happens. Let's go into world edit, command, set, let's just create a new command called set liquid, and we're going to call it set liquid, and it's going to be triggered by set liquid, and it's going to call set liquid ctx. We don't need this replace function. Okay, and then I should have called this something like that. Okay. Or wait, I guess we still want the air block, and then we're going to go resolve specifier set. That checks that just returns a list of specifiers, and then resolve weighted specifier list is what scans the items? No. Resolve specifier. Okay. Resolve specifier is what resolves items. Ideally, if we want to make this work for liquids too, we should pass in a set of definitions. Which is awkward. Okay. We'll make this simple, okay? So we'll go const liquid is going to be liquid.get ctx.arguments or ctx.arguments 1 or 0, I guess. And then we're going to go through each position, and we're going to go if the node there is equal to air, then we are going to set a liquid to liquid ID. And then we also need a volume, I think. Yeah, we'll just set that to 1. Cannot find name liquid, we'll pull that in there. ctx argument 0 as identifier in here. Then finally, we want to grab the index. Okay, so this function should allow us to place liquids in a volume. Now let's actually go make it exist. So we'll go add command set liquid. And then to actually make this update, we need to build the mod code. So let's go into games Zeus, run dev. Okay, let's see if that actually works. So first of all, if I give myself a bucket, the liquid should actually have updated the color. That is very bright. That doesn't look right. Hold on. Did I mess up the, like, syntax? Does it have to be capitalized? No. Did I just choose a color that's really bright? That doesn't make sense. Hold on. What color is this? It's not perfect white. It's just way too bright? Huh. What if I choose a really dark blue? I think I might have messed up my rendering somehow. Let's try this. Give bucket. Alright. Okay, it seems like my color stuff is just messed up, but I'll fix that later. Alright, so if I give myself a wand, and we go over to a position with a bit of a depression in it, let's see what we can do if we just add a bunch of liquid, and let's see if it actually fills up the pool. So here's a place with a little bit of a hole, although it's kind of a big hole. Where's like a smaller pit? Okay, this is a small pit. Let's go set Zeus default water. I fucked up. That's the water block. Set liquid Zeus default water. Here we go. Okay. 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 So it's filled up the bottom layer, I think. Yeah, it's filled up the bottom layer, but it's not filled up the medium layer. Let's do it again. Set liquid, Zeus default, water. More water! Some of it gets stuck for a really long time. Set liquid, Zeus default, water. It's actually filling up. It's doing kind of what I want. Oh. Can you somehow make it transparent and tint based on the Y level to check if it's filling, or is this unnecessary work? I have considered doing that, but I'm using deferred lighting, and I don't have any sort of order-independent transparency right now, so I wouldn't be able to render that properly. That is something that I want to be able to do in the future, but that's a whole other can of worms that I don't have time to do for this assignment, unfortunately. Oh shit, hold on. Thank you for the raid. I completely missed that. Hey there, Kathy. How you doing? Alright, let's go set liquid, Zeus default, water. How's it going? It's going alright. I'm currently trying to make sure that I don't fail one of my courses by actually finishing the assignment that I said I was going to do. I'm in an animation course in university right now, and I said I was going to make volumetric fluids in my voxel engine, and I haven't yet. So that's great. But we're getting there. This is starting to look like it actually is liquid computation, which is exciting. It's kind of shit looking, but you know, it's working. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's eventually leveling. It's technically volumetric. I can arguably... Oh, cool. I can arguably say that this is, in fact, volumetric water. It's kind of stupid, but, like... Here, let's try this with a large amount. Zeus default water. Alright, okay, that's affecting my frames per second just a bit. Oh, Jesus Christ. What is happening? Okay, so it is dissipating from the top, so it is spreading out. It's just taking a very long time. It's water. I don't know, it counts, kind of. The current holdup with it right now that's slowing its spread so much is that it is, it's choosing a random direction to flow as opposed to the, like, deepest direction it could flow. Although, I guess, that's actually weird, though, because it is choosing a random direction from the directions it can go. And I don't know how I could do it any more than that. You paint that orangey yellow and you've got a bunch of living cheddar cheese slices? Oh, I see. Because they're all just planes. I don't really want an ocean full of craft singles, but I appreciate... oh, fuck. Ah! I just launched myself into nowhere. Because the game got very laggy. Ah! Hold on. That's actually a good thing to add real quick. I'm gonna add a teleport command. Just like for convenience. Let's create a new command to world edit. Teleport. Cool, and that is going to be very simple actually. I don't need so much shit in here. Const teleport trigger is going to be TP. Actually, let's call it TP, and then we'll also create a teleport, which is the full list, and we're gonna give it, oh, hold on. I should do it like this. So TP action context. This is going to trigger teleport. Cool, and we're gonna go function teleport. CTX is going to be a context. which is going to do nothing yet. Cool. So that's our trigger. Then let's go if ctx.arguments.length is less than 3, console.error need x, y, and z, return. Then we're gonna go const x is number, ctx.arguments 0, y is going to be ctx.arguments 1, and z is going to be ctx.arguments 2. Then we're gonna go ctx.player.entity.position is, or set position. Actually, let's do interp position. No, set position. Never mind. And that's going to be x, y, z. I think that should work. It's very simple and kind of programmed like shit. Like, I could just inline all of these in here. I could even just go ctx.arguments.map a, and then just into the number constructor. And that should work. Then we're going to go, if it's greater or equal to 3, then we'll do that. Otherwise, we're gonna console.error here, so then I don't have to have a bunch of branching and shit. Okay. And then if we go into the main function, let's go add command, TP, add command, teleport. Okay. Let's see if that actually works. So that'll be very nice when I accidentally fling myself off into, like, the end of the universe. Okay. TP 0, 256, 0. Okay. Unknown command TP, but I just added it. What do you mean? Triggers TP, triggers teleport. Hold on. I suspect what's happening is that this didn't actually catch the update, because for some reason rollup never catches that my files changed, and I have no idea why. Okay. Let's see if this works. My cat really liked watching the water. What was he doing? Alright. Okay. TP 0, 256, 0. Hey, there we go. It works. Alright. TP 0, 0, 500. I'm at the edge of everything. I like it. Okay, very nice. Oh, this is a nice little pit to test water out in. Let's try it right here. Set liquid, Zeus, default, water. It's a flood. Oh, the horror. Something that is kind of weird is that this is going to... Some of it's going to spill down here for probably ever. Okay. This stuff got stuck. This stuff is slowly migrating. Okay, so let's talk heuristics here, because obviously this is kind of a heuristic approach to liquids, what I'm trying to do anyways, where we're attempting to have the best looking behavior without necessarily trying to do something physically complete and incredibly expensive. So let's say liquids should move if, and we're going to say the liquid volume is greater than 0, or greater than 1, and is not settled. So we'll define settled later, but basically, eventually we're going to have volume that is per liquid node, and if it is not flagged as settled, as in it's not in a, if it's not at a position or in a lake that is defined as settled by whatever heuristic we define for that, then it should move. The liquid volume... Maybe we should go liquid should not move if... And then, I don't know, let's language mode, markdown. Okay, the liquids should not move if the liquid volume is 1, so it's at its minimum volume, and it has no liquid beneath it. So this is an important distinction. So this is still a voxel-based system, right? So a lake might be very deep, but then the top layer might only have 1 volume in it, right? And that doesn't mean that it shouldn't move. Whereas if we have a liquid that is bouncing around and it has 1 volume and it's the only piece that's in that area, it should stop moving because it's alone. And like it moving around as a single unit is kind of useless. It should just be like a puddle or something. Okay, so then why can't I have a colon? No trailing punctuation and heading. Fuck you. What? Why? Let me do what I want. That is so insulting. I can put punctuation in my headings. Okay, fine, whatever. Okay, the liquid volume is 1 and it has no liquid beneath it. Or the liquid is in a body determined to be stable, or determined to be settled, or the liquid is in a region which has been made static. We'll explain that in a second. So, the liquid being in a body that is determined to be settled, that's going to be a challenge. Because, again, if we have a lake here, this lake is static, functionally, or is settled. It has a top layer that's partially filled, and the liquid here is moving around in it, but it also has a river that is flowing out of it, which is not settled. It is moving around a lot, right? So, although, you know what, I guess the weird thing is that, like, the liquid body, so if there's a river coming out of a liquid body, okay, are you going to deal with bodies of water that are constantly flowing? Yes, so I'm actually gonna explain this right now, because, yeah, so, man, look at it go, it's really spreading. Has anything fallen down the cliff yet? No? Okay. Okay, so this might actually be solved by this. So, my system for managing static liquids is I want to be using a kind of octree approach that maintains a kind of layer over top of the world. It might not be an octree, it might just be like regions, so like a 4x4x4 grid. And I want to maintain that there is a persistent flow coming out of any given continuous side of the liquid body. So, effectively, this is kind of shit because it's not actually consistent. But imagine there's a consistent amount of water coming out of this lake, right? If, like, these cells are consistent in flow out and flow in, then we should be able to just freeze the water and not actually compute anything. And then just keep spewing liquid out of it and accepting liquid into it and just deleting it. Because as long as the flow is consistent, it doesn't matter if all these intermediary steps are actually processing. It only matters at the outflow of the river. To explain a bit further, like obviously this would stop moving, but that doesn't really matter because again, we're going to be masking the actual like movements of the individual cells, both by having there be volume and by having there be like a shader that makes it look less voxely. So the idea is that you wouldn't really see these nodes moving. You would just see like water pooling at the end and slowly lowering out of the beginning. And then the river in the middle would be a constant flow, more or less, because it's getting the same amount out and in. You know, occasionally it would change because the volume of the lake would go down enough that it would be affected. But for the most part, it won't. And then as long as that's constant over some period of time, we can just freeze it and then treat it as though it's continually constant and, like, not compute it. So to do that, though, we basically need to analyze regions of terrain. You could try adding the heuristic. Water doesn't move if it's touching two or more other pieces of water as a kind of faux surface tension. That's interesting. Yeah, I could see that. My concern is that water's so coarse that, like, it's fairly easy to be in a situation like this, where it's touching two other pieces of water. Right now it's not moving because there's, like, non-air blocks here, and I don't currently have a system for checking if the block is empty. Or, I mean, if the block can allow liquids through. Although, technically, liquids can intersect blocks. That's not a problem. But I'd be worried about, like, situations like this arising, where it's just, like, if this had a high volume, it should definitely spread. But if this isn't going to move because of surface tension, that's a bit weird. Liquids already won't move if they're entirely surrounded by other liquids that they can't flow into. Which effectively means that we're already going to be handling liquids underneath the surface layer, unless a hole is poked out of the bottom of them. Pixel Junk Shooter solved rivers in 2D simply brute forcing it. Like, just actually computing every single cell. That's also what Terraria does, although Terraria really does not like having persistent liquids that, like, are moving, and tends to just freak out and settle them very quickly. It's migrating. But yeah, I think this octree thing with analyzing flow will work pretty well. The main constraint is that all water needs to be continuous, so, like, in a region. So if we have a 4x4x4 cell, and that is our unit that is static, any sides that are emitting or taking in water need to only have one input. And then as soon as we break a block along that edge, then we need to recompute the output flow as well. So I'm getting worried about this random flow, though, is my current thing. So, like, on an individual node level, the randomness makes sense. It's choosing any random direction that is lower than the current direction, and then it goes into it. That checks out. But doing so means that, it's, like, what about this stuff? It's, like, completely non-directed, right? And, like, that's kind of okay, because, the liquids, like, over here, they really don't have anywhere to go. But, like, over here, this liquid, I guess it's actually flattened out. But, like, if we spawn a bunch of liquid... Oh, thank you for the hydrate. That's on brand for right now. If we place... Where's my mouse cursor? Oh, I'm in a command. Okay. Give wand. If I place a bunch of water like this, like, it's easy for it to get kind of stuck on top when it should be, like, flattening out, right? I think you should make it to where liquids settle after a certain amount of time since they've moved down. A certain amount of time since they've moved down? But what if they're still on a hill? So... So thoughts on this sort of situation here. So things staying damp since there's water on it is a real thing. That's true. I don't really want it to get, like, stuck, though, at not the bottom. I agree, it is a real thing, and that's very fair. It's just, I want to make sure that this doesn't end up, like, over-constraining the system with, like, a bunch of assumptions about how it behaves that aren't accurate to all liquids. I do already really like how this looks. Like, it's super primitive, but it's really cool to, like, see the land's, like, actual, like, curves and shit, just because there's liquid here. Actually, just to make this a lot nicer immediately, let's do something. So, let's go into the node definition, and let's add... Or I guess we can just hop on collision. Yeah, let's go over to the dimension, client dimension, and instead of checking if the block is air, we're going to go if get node game items at that node dot collision. I thought I had a property just called collides, but sure. Dot empty. We'll basically say if it doesn't have collision, then it can support water. If it does have collision, then it can't. And then I guess we'll probably want to do that same thing over in the world edit command. So let's go to set liquid, and instead of checking for air, we want to go if the get node item dot get this node dot definition? Yeah, definition dot world dot collision dot length is equal to 0. Cool. That's a really long line of code. I guess this needs to be paired up, sure. Okay, so now any block that doesn't have collision should be able to support water, including grass and stuff. Give bucket. Alright, let's try this again. Or wait, not give bucket, give wand. Set liquid. Actually, let's first go set grass 5. Set tall grass 5. No? Okay. Tall grass is not the right identifier, and it crashed the game. Hold on. It must be tall grass without a space, or an underscore or whatever, which is dumb. I don't know why I did that. Set tall grass 5. Or not? Oh, wait, is 4 the highest it goes? Give wand. Set tall grass 4. There we go. Okay, now we've got a bunch of grass. If I go set liquid Zeus default water, it spawns in it, but it's stuck. Okay, which means that I messed up right around here, because I'm comparing it to this boolean. That is definitely not what I'm supposed to do. Alright. Okay, give wand. Let's actually try one other thing. So if I grab here, and then to here, then we'll go replace air tall grass 4. So now we've got some solid blocks as well. Now let's go set liquid Zeus default water. It's still not moving. Just to confirm though, there isn't any water in the solid blocks? Correct. So the JavaScript side's fine. It's this side. We're not querying the item atlas, which means that it's just a fuck up over here. What if I put it just in air? Like if I just get it over here, set liquid Zeus default water. Okay, it's not moving at all, so I've messed something up. What sort of distro of Linux is this? This is Endeavour OS. I'm using GNOME as a desktop environment, but the actual underlying OS is derived from Arch, and it's Endeavour. Okay, so... Oh, okay. I just needed to not have it be like that. Okay. Oh, wait, hold on. No, I'm sorry. I fucked up. Liquid Atlas, empty. So we want the liquid there to be empty, and we want there to not have any collisions in that block. That should work. Okay. Let's try this again. Set liquid, Zeus default, water. Okay, it's spilling around, and now it's actually intersecting the blocks. Okay, but it's not intersecting the solid blocks. Perfect. So yeah, that is what we want to see. That's going to make the water flow a lot smoother, because it's not going to be colliding with a bunch of grass and stuff. And as you can see, so this is like... So my thing is that it's going to end up leaving puddles regardless, right? Because if it's alone, if there's only one bit of water in a specific cell, it should end up stabilizing into a puddle. And then eventually we'll probably want to make those puddles evaporate in the sun. Maybe. They're falling down the cliff. No! That's actually really cool. It's like a waterfall. Hold on. What if I place a lot more liquid around here? Zeus default water. Oh, that is really nice. Like, even with this really shitty rendering, it's cool to see, like, a waterfall kind of work. I really want this area, this first part of the game, to have a lot of really nice waterfalls. And being able to have a water system that can support that and look good while doing it will be really nice. Just pouring down the second part. Very cool. Very, very cool. Eventually it's all gonna fill up down here, right? Is this actually a little depression? It looks like it is. The liquids stop recalculating while I'm moving because the chunks are regenerating, which is actually kind of a problem. We're probably going to split the render thread and update thread into, like, separate threads, because right now they're the same thing. That does add extra complexity with, like, pushing block updates to the rendering, but it should be easy enough to do. Volumetric fluids, why do they have to be so loud? Thank you for that. Oh man, it is spilling down here. Hell yeah. Oh Jesus, I'm gonna teleport into nothing, aren't I? When the game starts getting really laggy, the physics starts getting really freakish, and stuff ends up going kind of haywire. Okay, so we've got some liquid around here, some down here, but for the most part it's pulling all down here, which is exactly what it should be doing, which is really exciting. I have not really expected this to work. Thanks, people keep me around for moral support and comedic relief. Okay. So, yeah, this is just functioning kind of like what I'd expect. Like, it kind of looks like shit, and when it settles, it's not going to be very happy, and it's quite laggy. But, like, this is the basis of a functional system, and that's really exciting to me. And more importantly, I can probably submit videos of this and not get a 0 on my final project. But, you know, that's besides the point. So, another thing. This is like a kind of implicit thing. Liquids should not move if they are surrounded by solid blocks or other liquids with a volume greater or equal to their own. This is kind of implicit, like it's already in the like calculations we're doing, so I'll actually put an X in front of it. But it's really important, because what it means is that for a big body of water, only the top layer is ever going to be moving, or like the side that is exposed to a waterfall, if there's like a big gap. I wonder why that chunk... Is that chunk broken, or is it just not getting any water because of the, like... way that the land is shaped. It's just the way the land is shaped. That's really interesting. I'm really curious to see how this all settles when it does. Because, like, there's a lot of little depressions here that it's eventually going to get into. I'm just hoping the game doesn't kill me before then by launching me into nowhere. It looks like some of the water has gone and settled over here. You can see from the task status flickering like that it's not having a fun time remeshing all these chunks. Something that's really slowing down the performance of this is that every time a liquid gets re-rendered, it's re-rendering all of the blocks as well, which is not useful. Technically, if the liquids affect the light level of where they are, then we do need to re-render some details about the chunk. But I probably will want to improve the rendering algorithm so that we don't need to re-render all of the blocks if we're just updating lighting anyways. Because that's kind of a mess. We don't really want to do that, it's quite slow. I'm considering sending over, I was like looking at a video, or someone mentioned, I think on my Discord or something, that they used a palette, effectively, of light levels that were passed into the chunk, and so they could send the chunk light levels as data, which is a really interesting idea. So, like, for a general chunk, it's going to have 32 by 32 by 32 blocks, which is 32,768. And then, if we assign a byte to each of those, which I guess only gives 256 values, we probably want a short. Although a short gives a lot more than we need. 14 bits? Let's just do a short because it's simple. Then that's going to be 64 kilobytes per block, or per chunk. And the average size of a chunk, I think I have that in here somewhere. The average size of a chunk is... oh, that's only the block chunks. We don't actually know the average size of it in bytes. Although, I guess we can compute it pretty easily. If we go to vertex... or sorry, chunk vertex... chunk mesh. So every face has this node face data, which is 16 bytes. 16 bytes? Really? I guess so. Okay. Fair enough. So 16 bytes, and on average I think there's around 10,000 vertices? Or 10,000... yeah, 10,000 vertices over 4 is the number of faces in a chunk. So that's gonna be 40,000 bytes. So, I guess that would double the chunk size on average. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, because we can omit this data if a chunk is completely in the dark. So, like, if it is a, like, it's completely covered underground. And also, we've got our chunk sizes to be very small. Like, this is a really, really small amount of bytes for an entire 32 by 32 by 32 chunk. So having it be doubled, while that sounds really bad, isn't necessarily bad. And also the light value is taking up a significant amount of that space as well. It's not going to visibly change because I'm going to have to mess with all the different alignment bits, but yeah, right now there's all this light data that's inside of here, and if we move it to a palette, it doesn't have to be inside of there anymore. It's almost all settled, look at that. Is there any that settled up top? There is. Wow. It's got little pools over there. A few... oh, I think those are just the broken chunk rendering bits. Yeah, there's a couple of those everywhere. There's some down here. There's some there, some here. But then the vast majority of it is all over here. So this is pretty much settled. I mean, it's not fully. Eventually this should move all the way over here. This is kind of part of what I'm worried about with this system. If it's just node-based and you have really flat land like this, then it kind of ends up becoming a thing where it just doesn't know where to go. Although that's... no, because never mind, that's kind of mitigated, because so... if you imagine right now, the information for a chunk is, or for a block is binary. There's either a liquid there, which means it can't move, or there's not, which means it can. Which kind of removes all directionality from it, which is why it's just kind of stable here. But what we're actually going to have is up to like 64 volume levels per block, which means that for most of these cases, there's going to be either a higher volume, which means it can't move, or a lower volume, which means it can, right? And that's naturally going to taper off towards the lower part as it empties, because it's actually emptying. So it should actually make it so that the liquids are less likely to become like this unless there's a really small amount of them, at which point they become puddles and then eventually dissipate. So that should hopefully solve itself. That's kind of how Terraria fluid works. If it doesn't have a stable state, the fluid tile decays away. Is that true? I thought it just like subdivided and subdivided. Is there actually like a minimum like volume that it can have? This is actually, like, pretty close to what I want to see. I think it also helps a lot that, like, it can overlap with, like, grass and stuff now, because that, like, stops a lot of the janky stuff that's preventing it from working. If it gets below a certain level, it disappears. Ah, that makes sense. I haven't really looked too closely at Terraria's, liquid mechanics. Loud-ass ambulance. Jesus Christ. Okay. Okay, do we want to try and implement volume? I'm kind of scared to try and implement volume. The feds found me. Damn, I'm screwed. So if we want to try and implement volume, we're going to need to give the water pieces a texture of a top-down ant. I think it would be funny. Why? What? Use the sprite from A Bug's Wife. I can't actually give the water texture. It's using a completely different render pipeline that only does colors right now. Yeah, so... Performance police knocking at the door, thread your mesh building. It is threaded, it's just kind of stupid. Like, each of those squares on the right that's flashing, that's a separate render thread that's rendering meshes. The actual performance hang-up right now is that it's rendering the foliage, the blocks, and the liquids all at once every time a liquid changes. And it's most likely doing that for each chunk multiple times as well, because I'm dispatching it stupidly. I'm dispatching it once per liquid that's changing. There's a lot of things that should be improved. None of them are the fact that it isn't multi-threaded, because it is. Okay, so... I'm trying to think of what the simplest thing I could do that would have the most value is. I'm going to go ahead and say it's probably adding volume to the liquids. So, so if we want to do that, then we're going to have to change around some of the indexing stuff. Oh, geez. Okay, so let's first of all commit my changes, because I want to make sure this actually works. Functional liquid simulation. OMG. I was at, when I was at work the other day, we had a big long discussion about how, like, profanity in commit messages is considered a real red flag if you're trying to get hired somewhere. And it made me think about this project, because there's so many commits where I just say, like, fuck, or ass, or oh my god, this sucks, or damn it. But it's closed source, so I don't need to care. Okay, so... Water moving randomly over a surface looks weird. Why not following a random initial direction until change for each particle/voxel of water? That does make sense. I'd be worried about, like, it skipping holes that it otherwise would fill into. Because, like, the randomness kind of acts as a spread that happens over time. Accidentally typed liquid acid as liquid ass. That said, we're going to mitigate a lot of the weirdness of that by stopping simulation if there's only one, like, minimum volume layer of liquid, and also by encoding volume in the liquid chunks, which should give it more, it should give it a, like, more fine-grained movement. There's actually an interesting thing where I would argue that the way that the liquid should propagate is it should take all of the potential positions it can go, the amount of volume it could potentially put there, and then divide out the flow by that fraction. Because, like, if you're imagining, like, a single, like, solid liquid step, let's say that you put liquid, like, say you're God, and you're at, like, a ledge and it's diagonal, and you put, like, a blob of water, just, like, in a perfect cube, right at the ledge, and there's, like, it's at a diagonal, so there's, like, 2 spots that it could flow down. You would expect that it would flow more or less evenly down those 2 sides. You wouldn't expect it to choose one side for an instant, then the next side for another instant, and then a couple more, like, of that first side, and then a bit more of that second side. You'd want it to be going down evenly, right? And that kind of removes the randomness, except if there's not enough volume for it to spread evenly down each side, which is a thing that could happen. But that's fine. So, and there's actually a really simple way that we can do that pseudo-randomly. Because we're working with fixed point coordinates, if we're trying to divide evenly, there's a chance that we're going to end up, like, adding more liquid than there was, or just moving less liquid than there was. If we round up towards, like, placing more liquid than there was, but then we keep an accumulator of how much liquid has been placed and then stop when we hit 0, that means that, say you have 3 volume of liquid in one block and it can move in 4 places, it would push 1 volume to each of the adjacent tiles except for the last one because it would run out, right? And then what we can do is if we want to randomly have it move, we can just rotate the array of the positions it could go randomly each time it tries to move. So then the 3 positions that it actually goes to are different. That would mean that those positions are always adjacent. So like if you had 2 volume in a space and 4 positions it could move, then it would always move to 1 and then 190 degrees rotated from it. But that's not a big deal, in my opinion. I don't think that's much of a problem, especially because when we get to volumes that low, it's not really going to matter anyways. So, yeah. Okay, so liquid volume. This is going to be kind of awful to program. So if we go over to a chunk, the liquid array is a liquid type, which is a U16, right? If we want to have 64 levels of volume, that's going to be 6 bytes, or 6 bits of the 16, which means we're going to have a 10-bit value, which means we're going to have 1,024 total supported liquids. I don't know if that's too little. I would feel more secure at 4096, but that means there's only 6 bits of fluid, or sorry, 4 bits of fluid volume, which means 16 total, which might work fine, honestly. In fact, I think we'll roll with that. So let's go static const expr U8, or let's go U16 num volume bits is going to be equal to 4. And then we're going to go static const expr U16 volume mask is going to be, I have a utility in the light function somewhere. I think it's create carry mask. Yeah, I'm gonna move this to util, and we're gonna call this function mask n bits, and that's going to take in mask and mask 1 is equal to 0. It's going to take in a number count, and then a mask, which is going to start at 0, and then we're going to go if count is greater than 0, mask n bits count -1, followed by 5 days you're really laying on the pressure. A little bit. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I've basically got a functional version now that I can submit. I won't get full marks, but I don't need full marks. So that's fine. Cool, so that should actually do the job. And then we go return mask. And I think what this will do is it will create a bit mask. Are you using a library? SML2, SDL? Nope. Yes, sorry. I am using SDL2 for my input and window management. Hope you don't have to do as much reporting and competencies like they require over here. I don't really know. I haven't looked at the assignment spec. Util create, or util mask n bits, num volume bits. Okay. Oh, U16. Can I see what this is computed to? 0. Oh, because I did and. This should be or. Okay, so this should compute to still 0. If const expression... No, hold on. If count is greater than 0, then mask n bits, count -1, mask shifted... Oh, hold on. Return mask n bits. There we go. Now I've got errors. Volume mask is 15. So that is 1111. That is exactly what I want. Okay, so our volume mask is that. So then if we want to have a static get volume, which takes in a... Hold on, I'm going to create a type def liquid index. Is going to be a U16 right here. Is the TN in templates a macro? Yeah, it's where is it? It's just a macro to type name. I have a lot of macros for making template meta programming stuff like simpler and more concise. Okay, this is going to be liquid index. Cool. And then we're gonna go get volume U16 val. Oh, liquid index, or let's just go U8. Static cast U8 val and volume mask. So that's gonna return the lower 4 bits of the liquid. That's nice. I should get on it too, to be honest. It's really helpful. I have so many type traits here that just make things so much simpler. Which C++ version am I using? I think 23? I'm just using whatever the latest one is at the time where there's like a feature that I want. I'm not particularly picky because I'm the only one developing this. I guess I can check CMake. Okay, 20. 20 right now. Okay. Now we're gonna go get type, and this is going to be val shifted right by num volume bits. And that's going to return... I don't actually need to cast here. It'll cast from the return type. So if the lower 4 bits are the volume bits, if we shift right by the number of volume bits, then we end up with just the type. Then finally, let's have a static U16. Oh, this should also be U16. Which is going to be create liquid val, which is going to take a U16 type, and then a U8 volume, and it's going to return type shifted left by num volume bits, ORed with volume and volume mask, just in case we put more than 16 values in there. We don't want it to bleed over to the type. Bitwise arithmetic. So basically what we've got is if our short looks like this, where this is 8, hold on, let x is equal to... there we go. So if this is our binary representation, this number of bits is for our type, so this might be like 1 for water, or 2 for lava, right? And then this number is the volume. So if we have that, then that's going to be 6 volume. This would be 14 volume, or yeah, and this would be 15. This would be 0, which is actually an unrepresentable state, because if there was 0 volume, we would not have anything in it, right? So we might actually change it so that when we get the volume, we return this plus 1, and then when we set the volume, we subtract 1. So then this is technically 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, all the way up to this actually being 16 instead of 15, because we're adding 1, because, again, 0 volume means no liquid. And then if we actually want to have no liquid, then that is just going to be 12 bits of empty, followed by, this could either be 0 or 1, it doesn't really matter because this is representing no data in the first place. So if we go get type, and then the type is equal to 0, then it's considered empty. I hope that makes sense. Oh, my earbud died. Where are my other headphones? Give me a sec. I'll be right back. I don't actually know where the case is. Oh, I bet I know, actually. Yes. Okay. Okay, let me just pair those up so I can actually hear again. Okay, I can't hear. Is it because the music stopped? Yes. Okay, let me quickly go and change the audio here. Okay, good. You should be able to hear the music again. And so can I. Okay. So now we should be able to actually go and implement volume. So if I go over to the client dimension, and we go into set liquid, we need to set it to, so we have our type and our volume. We're gonna go liquid def create liquid val with liquid and volume in here. And that's going to create the type that we want. And then add liquid also needs to do that. So, oh, and we also need to compare this. So our old liquid just needs to be, let's go, let val is going to be create liquid val here. So this set liquid is basically only supposed to dispatch an update if the old val is not equal to the new val. Because this one integer contains both the volume and the type, we can just compare the old val to the created val, and if it's different at all, that means that either the volume or the liquid has changed, which means that we should dispatch an update. Otherwise, we do nothing. So that should be good. Now if we go to add liquid, things are going to be a little bit different. So this is our old liquid, and we want to make sure that old liquid type, so liquid def get type of old liquid is equal to the liquid, or it's empty. And we also want to make sure that the volume is lower than maximum. So liquid def. Oh, we should actually encode the maximum somewhere. So let's go liquid def.hpp. So volume mask is the mask, but let's go static const expression liquid index max liquid volume. And that's going to be 1 shifted left by num volume bits, which should be 16. Yes, good. And just to confirm, if we up this, then volume mask becomes 31, max liquid volume becomes 32. Perfect. Okay. So we need to make sure that it is less than max liquid volume. Cool. And then we're gonna go let volume, which volume to add is going to be volume, or max liquid volume, minus old liquid, or get volume of old liquid. I misspelled it. Wait, no, liquid. Is that how you spell liquid? Oh god, I've looked at it so long that it doesn't look right. Yep, no, that's right. It just looks stupid. Okay, so volume to add is going to be the max liquid volume minus the old liquid volume, and then we're going to go std min between that and volume. So that's how much we're actually going to be adding. Which it doesn't like because one of them is a U8, I think? No, this should be as U8 in here. Okay, that's not working. Oh. As U8 in here as well. Okay. Cool, so that's going to be the amount of liquid that we can actually add. And then we're going to go chunk.liquids ind is going to be liquid def make liquid def create liquid val liquid get volume. Let's actually go like let old volume is going to be. Also, we don't need to be typing all of these. Old volume is going to be liquid def get volume old liquid. Okay, and then we're gonna go type is equal to liquid, and old volume is less than max volume. Volume to add is going to be max volume minus old volume. Okay. And then we're going to create a val, which is old volume plus volume to add. Then this check really doesn't need to exist, I think, because if we got to this point, something has happened. And then finally, we need to return volume to add, which is the amount of volume that we added, because we want to return, because it's very possible that you try to add a liquid with the code, and then you end up with less of it going in than you wanted because the cell was filled up, right? So we want to make sure that that is possible, like that we can handle that there. I'm realizing this should really be an I32, because it might wrap around to 0, which bugs me, but it's true. Because, like, if you want to add 500 volume, let's say that you put in 500 as the volume. Max liquid volume is 16, so that ends up as a big negative number, right? And then why does that happen, though? Hold on, because the amount that we can add... Okay, so this needs to be... Hold on, this calculation doesn't make sense. So we want to be able to add... Oh, because old volume is going to be fine. But then we're trying to add 500. Okay, so we don't need to max it to 0. And we also don't need these to be signed. Okay, we're fine, we're fine. But I do want to make this like that. Cool. So that's going to add the liquid volume. Cool. Then remove liquid is going to want to confirm that the liquid is the right type. So let's go liquid def get type of the old liquid is not equal to the previous liquid. Then we're going to return 0. Then we're going to go let volume to remove is going to be std max 0, and then liquid def get volume, old volume, or old liquid, and then we're going to go as I32, because we want to be able to overflow. So we're going for the old value minus the current volume, or the volume that we want to delete. Why is that angry? Int versus U32. But this is an I32. This is an I32. This is an I32. Does subtracting a U32 from an I32 make a U32? That's awful! That's... ew! Oh my god, okay. Okay, so that's how much we're able to remove, I think. No, because the maximum that we can remove is going to be the minimum between the amount that we want to remove and the amount that's there. That's the distinction. Which it doesn't like, because this returns a U16. This should also be a U16. And that doesn't work again. Oh, because this returns a U8. Fine. Cool, so that's the amount that we're able to remove. And then we want to actually check if let would be empty is going to be liquid def get volume old liquid minus volume to remove is equal to 0. So if we're going to end up with nothing in there, then we want to set it to empty. Would be empty, then we're going to set it to liquid atlas empty, yay! Otherwise, we are going to go chunk liquids int is equal to liquid def make liquid value. That's going to be type liquid, and then I guess we still need the old volume. We need it everywhere. Okay, old volume is going to be here, which means that we can get it here, which means we can get it here, and then we can go old volume minus volume to remove, and then we're going to return volume to remove. Okay. We need to do one thing, though. If old liquid, liquid def, get type, old liquid... Oh wait, hold on, no, this check already handles it, never mind. I need to be very careful of where I'm checking if it's empty, because technically, since we're not defining the value of the volume for empty liquids, we need to make sure we're only checking the type, because otherwise we could be checking if it's empty and then getting some like volume value that doesn't matter and then getting 0 out of it. Okay, so that should do it. This should also update the liquid. If not, would be empty. Liquids to process is empty. Okay. Oh, thank you for the hydrate, Sith. Okay. Clear liquids is very simple. We just need to check the type instead of the whole variable. Then we'll want to go, or we don't want to update liquids here yet. Okay, now, process fluids. Oh, this is where it's gonna get messy. Fucking hell, this is gonna suck. Okay. So, we'll get our liquid, and then we'll go that type is going to be liquid def get type liquid, and then we'll also get the volume. Cool. Then if we go, if type is equal to empty, then we'll continue. Then, for each flow direction, it's hard to explain code without sounding like we're making shit up, or am I alone in this case? No, I agree. I tend to just say words and hope they make sense, but I'm always worried when I'm talking on stream that, like, what I'm saying is just completely nonsensical. Okay, so we need to check that the collision is empty. So we need to get the liquid at the resulting position. So we'll, first of all, we'll go, if the chunk's collision is not empty, then we're going to continue, because we can't put liquid in there in the first place. Then we're going to go let found liquid is going to be get liquid, check position. Cool. And then we're going to go, okay, found liquid. Huh. So we're gonna go if let found liquid, or found type is going to be liquid def get type found liquid, and we're gonna find the volume here too. Okay. And then we're gonna want to go if found type is not equal to liquid atlas empty, and found type is not equal to liquid or type, then we're also going to continue. So if it is not either empty or our current type, we're gonna skip out. Then we're gonna go let can flow amount is going to be found volume liquid def max liquid volume minus found volume. Then we're going to go if can flow amount is equal to 0, then we're also going to continue. If we can't flow anything in, we skip it. And then otherwise, we are going to push back the direction because some liquid can go in there. Okay. Alright. Okay, so now that we have the amount of liquid, or we have positions that liquids can flow into, we're going to choose a random direction. We will augment this later. Then we're going to go add liquid. And the volume is going to be the volume specified. Then we're going to go let added is going to be equal to that. Then we're going to go if added is greater or equal to volume, clear liquid. Otherwise, we're going to remove liquid from the position, the liquid type, and added. And then we're also going to add a chunk change at this position. What is index and on chunk change? What am I reading? I don't know what this does. I think that's actually a block index, which is kind of fucked up, but whatever. Okay, so we're going to remove liquid from here. This means it's not fully removed, so we're also going to go this liquids to process dot insert position again, because we'll want to recompute it if the volume isn't completely empty. I think that works. I think. So yeah, that should allow it to flow while also considering volume. Now, to make it actually render while considering volume is a different story. We're going to have to go into liquid or chunk mesh. And we've got our liquid vertex. That's going to have to contain a U8 volume. Although, since we operate on... that might work. I think that's not going to work because it needs to be packed by 16. Oh, but you know what? We don't care about this fourth dimensional position, so we can actually just make it that the volume is encoded in the last position value. So that's fine then. So let's go into the chunk mesher. And then when we render a liquid vertex, instead of 1, we're going to go here and then go, oh, we're also going to need to go liquid def, liquid, or get type in here. Then we're going to go liquid def, get volume, liquid. Okay. Oh, wait, hold on. I fucked up. Def... Wait, what do we need the definition for? Oh, the color. Okay, so we do need that. So let's keep this as is, and let's go... Let liquid is going to be equal to... this value. Then we're going to use this here, and then we're going to use this here. Okay, now the fourth coordinate for our position that's going into the liquid shader is the volume of the liquid. So if we go over to the liquid.vertex shader, we have our position, which is here. And we're going to take a vec3 of it. Then we're going to add vpos.w divided by 16.f. Then actually, sorry, one other thing we want to do is we actually want to add... No, wait, no, this volume will be 1 to 16, so that's perfect. So this will be somewhere between 1 and 16. Cool. I think this makes sense. That should get the position working, and then we need a vec4, and this needs to get a 1 in it. That's fine. Okay, let's try building the shaders. I failed. What did I do? Oh. This should be like this, and this should be like this. There we go, compiled, cool. How's the volumetric fluids going? Hopefully I'll be able to show you in like 1 second, but it's going good, I think. We're gonna find out. So let's go back to our world edit, set liquid, and let's change the volume to 16, and let's just confirm liquid or dimension atlas. Are you going to have variable viscosity? So this isn't a physically accurate liquid simulator, but if by viscosity you just mean like how fast it flows, yes, that is going to be a thing. Okay, so add liquid and set liquid, they both take in a value which is converted. Okay, I think it's gonna work. I'm very scared that it's gonna explode, but I think it might work. Let's find out if this works. Because yeah, so we're factoring in the volume into the rendered plane. We are also factoring in the volume everywhere that we're currently computing liquid. Now, the flow is not going to look very good. The flow is currently just going to be effectively the exact same flow algorithm, but now it's got volume. So it should be able to flow marginally better, but like not very much. Also, there's going to be weirdness where technically it can flow higher than the prior value. We kind of want to level it out, so like, If we've got liquid here and liquid here, we don't want this liquid to go all the way down and then have this liquid go all the way up, because that doesn't make sense, right? We want them at most to become level. And that is not happening at all. Give bucket. Okay, that broke. Okay, somewhere I'm indexing into the liquids atlas by the full value. Where is that happening? Here? Yes. No. No, no. Dot liquids. Dot add, dot remove. That's definitely not the only place that it's happening. Dimension. Okay. So, actually, let's test this. So if we go to process liquids, if I comment all of this out, and we run it again, will it still crash? Let's narrow it down. Yes, I know I could use a debugger. I don't like debuggers. Give bucket. Bonk. Okay, it is in process liquids. Cool. So where are we messing this up? So we get the liquid, we get the type, we get the volume. Where are we using the variable liquid? We're using it here and here. This should be type. Okay, that might be the extent of it. We shall see. Give bucket. Okay, it eventually crashed. Huh. Weird. Okay, fine. Let's use the debugger. Let's find out where it crashed. Give bucket. Okay, I'm gonna wait for the meshes. Oh. What? Hold on. I'm so confused. Did it actually find something? Or did it just freeze? Pause on exception. In mesh liquid. Oh. Why ever would that break? Ah, okay. Liquid, def, get type. So we were trying to index into liquids, including their volume, though. And, you know, it might actually be worthwhile to move the volume bits over to the top side, and then to actually pull out the value, we just have to mask by the, or to pull out the type, we just have to mask by everything other than the liquid. Like other than the top 4 bits. If I saw right, it crashed after an amount of time without ever using the bucket. Also, when you commented the process, that was just it was just not rendering properly. Is it getting? What the fuck? Wait, hold on. That's new. Okay, hold on. Let's put this in a more controlled scenario. So it's filling over time. Somehow I've created an infinite spring. Oh my god. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay. Let's look into that. Please kill. Oh Jesus. Okay. There we go. Okay. Dimension. What's going on here? So, we have the volume from the current liquid. We find all the directions, we find how much fluid it can flow into, whatever. We choose a random direction, then we add to that position the volume that we can add, or just like the volume that we have. Then, if added is greater or equal to the volume than we had, meaning that we were able to add everything, then we clear the liquid. That makes sense, right? I think. Otherwise, we remove the liquid. We remove the amount of liquid that we added. So one of these functions isn't working. So clear liquid, it goes, okay, if the type of the old liquid is not equal to empty, then we set it to empty, then we finish. That seems pretty sound. Remove liquid is more complicated. So we grab the old liquid and the old volume, then we check if the old liquid's type is not equal to the liquid we want to remove. If so, we cancel. Then we want to remove the minimum between the current volume that is there and the volume that we want to kill. That makes sense. So if there is less volume to remove than what we actually have requested, then we only remove the amount that exists. Then is empty returns just if the old volume minus the volume to remove is equal to 0, that's fine. If is empty, then we set the liquid to empty, just flat. Otherwise, we go into the chunk liquids and we create a liquid val, which is the liquid and then the old volume minus the amount that we've removed. Yeah. And then we insert into there. So I don't know why it's going up. That makes sense to me. Like, does that make sense to everyone else? Is everyone clear on that? Because we're trying to... So, our old liquid is the liquid that's already there. The old volume is the volume of the liquid that was already there. If the types are different, we just do nothing. Then we grab the minimum value between the volume that is there and the old volume and the volume we want to remove. Because we can only remove up to what is there. Then if the old volume minus the volume to remove is 0, we can just simplify that. It doesn't change it. Cool. Otherwise, we go create liquid val, liquid, old volume minus volume to remove. That makes sense to me. I don't see why that wouldn't make sense. And then let's go to add liquid. Or wait, am I calling add liquid or set liquid? I'm calling add liquid, so it's possible that this is the fuck up. So the old liquid is what's already there, and the old volume is the volume of it. Let's go actually let old type is chunk, or is liquid def get type liquid, or old liquid. Then we're going to go old volume is going to be old type is equal to liquid def empty, or liquid atlas empty. If so, then the volume's going to be 0, otherwise we're going to get the volume. Cool. Then if old type is equal to liquid, and old volume is less than the maximum volume that could be stored, or old type is equal to empty. Let's actually just simplify this. Old type is equal to liquid, or old type is equal to empty, and the volume is fillable. Then we're going to add in... Okay, this might be the flaw. So we want to add in the volume that we specified, obviously. but then we want to clamp it by the amount that can be put in, which is going to be the maximum volume minus the current volume. I think that makes sense. Then we add that and return volume to add, which is the amount of volume we added. This is the amount of liquid we removed. I don't see any flaws in this logic, which is concerning, because there has to be logic somewhere. Let's see if we can observe this anymore. So, I'll give myself a bucket. And let's try and put it in a single block hole. So that's stable. Okay. 2-block hole. That's also stable. Oh, did I fix it? Is it growing? It doesn't seem like it's growing. I think I might have fixed it. Is that volume going up in there? It is. Okay. Okay. I think it's actually working. Let me quickly change the bucket code, though. We want to place in the maximum volume here. And we don't need to really log it. Or wait, hold on. We should be able to actually test here. Oh yeah, look at that, it is going up. Okay, hold on, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It feels like it's not linear. I don't know if I'm crazy or not, though. Like, hold on. Let me just, like... What's a transparent block? Yeah, okay. Give bucket. I guess it is. Cool. So... let's actually keep this at, like, 4. Now what happens if I go and set some liquid? I have no idea what bug I fixed, though, which bothers me. Because, like, I don't know what was wrong. Zeus default water. Oh, sorry, is there background noise? It's probably just one of my roommates going home, or entering the house. It shouldn't take too long. Okay, so this still appears to be working, which makes sense, because the logistics are effectively the exact same, because we're not actually splitting the liquids at all. Yeah, it's fine, I just suddenly went through all my tabs trying to understand. Sorry about that, yeah. I don't actually have a very directional mic. It's, like, very wide sweeping. It's just my roommates usually aren't home. Is this liquid broken, or is it just... Oh, it's in a hole. Okay, that makes sense. It's hard to tell if it's full liquid or if it's, like, at the bottom layer, right? So yeah, this is effectively operating identically to how it was before. Like, if I go and place a bunch of liquid over here, it's gonna fall down, as we're used to. The remaining thing to make the volume work would be to actually split the volume between the outputs. That said, though, I'm honestly kind of getting really hungry. So I might try doing that and then posting the result on my Discord a bit later tonight. So yeah, I think that's probably what I'll do. I'm quite satisfied with the progress that we've made today alone. Like, if nothing else, I can submit this to my professor and I will probably get an okay grade. So that is great. I'm kind of curious, because this is setting all full blocks of water. Something I want to see is if I build like a little... Oh, the game's kind of lagging. Hold on, I'm gonna restart. I haven't optimized this yet, obviously, but... Okay, give bucket. If I create like a little basin, and then I build a tube, ignore the stretchy textures, and then I give myself a bucket, will the water actually fall? So that's like that. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, it's working! That's so cool! Okay. And if I were to, like, say, have an extra deep pit here, and then actually update the liquid, it's gonna fall down. Did it double up, though? Huh. That might be a bug. Oh, wait, no, I think it just wasn't rendering. Huh. There's definitely some stuff going on. But yeah, like, it is filling a little bit. So that's pretty cool. It's very erratic, for sure. But yeah, I'm really excited by this. I think this is actually gonna work properly. Cool, yeah. Well, does anyone have any questions before I end the stream? Liquid spilling out everywhere and generally causing problems. Alright, cool. Well, I am going to, I'm gonna go get some food, and then I'm gonna work on this probably later today, and if I have any updates, then I will post it on my Discord. So, if you're not in the Discord, there's a link on the screen, arail.us/discord, if you're interested in seeing the outcome of this. Otherwise, I'll catch you next week. I stream every Sunday at 12 o'clock PST. But yeah, thank you all for stopping in. This was a lot of fun. I'm glad that I actually got stuff functioning. It's really nice to see that it's working a little bit after it didn't for a while. I have something to show, which means I'm not going to be a complete failure as far as my class goes, which is great. I'd love to see this actually settle properly and, like, you know, have equal volumes in the area. That would be very nice to see. But yeah, I'll see if I can get that going. Alright, see y'all later. See ya, Jappios. See ya, Kathy. See ya, Xenoblade. Thank you all for hanging out with me. Alright, bye everyone. Have a great rest of your day.